Hey, what's going on? My name is David and I'm coming at you guys with a brand new LEGO Ninjago video, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing the Killow vs Samurai X set, set number 70642, and it contains 556 pieces. Now this set retails for $49.99 in the United States, and I got this set on toysrus.com, and so if you guys are looking into buying some Sons of Garmadon sets, they are indeed out on that site, and if you guys don't find them on the first page of Ninjago products, just keep going and scroll towards the second or third page on the Ninjago product section of the Toys R Us website. You're going to find them there. They're kind of like hiding in that portion. But without further ado, let's dive into this review. So I'm going to just divide this entire review into, of course, 3 parts. We're going to have one part dedicated to the minifigures, one part dedicated to the Samurai X Mech, and then one part dedicated to Clow's bike. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, so the first part of the set we have here is the Samurai X Mech, and I'm actually very impressed by how much my opinions have changed on this mech. As you guys probably do know, I wasn't really a big fan of this entire build, and I thought it looked very, very cheap and a very bad redesign from Jay's Electro Mech, which came out with the Tournament of Elements set wave. But this mech is actually really, really well designed, and it does have some very good similarities to that Electro Mech, but also is kind of different in its own ways, and I actually like it a little bit better, especially with how much more bulkier it is. And I really like how much weight they've added to it, and the leg design is pretty good. You have a lot of rotation that you can of course use. You got ball joints towards the bottom of the legs, which you can of course move back and forth, but there are limitations. And you also do have more ball joints on the hips right here, which you can of course move out, kind of have them going like that, and kind of make them go inwards as well. And you have the same kind of movability, of course, in the arms, although the arms are way shorter. And so you of course have the regular shoulder rotation right here, and then you also have the arm rotation as well. And for this particular hand, you do also get some fingers, and you can move them around, and they're actually a substantial play feature in the mech portion of this set. And so pretty much what you can do is just grab this thing right here, and originally I thought that this was going to be kind of design for the mech, and it was just decoration and all that stuff, but it's actually a clever mechanism. So you see this piece right here, you pretty much just lift it up, and this allows you access to just take this right here, and this is just free. You can just slot it back in whenever you want to, and then of course put this piece right on top. But pretty much when you put that on, it doesn't fall out, so it's all nice and secure. And so when you take out this little sword mech piece, you can just stick it into, of course, the minifigures, not the minifigures, the mech's hands, and you just slot it into that hole right there, and you just have the fingers close in on it, and it has its own weapon. And so this is actually a really well designed weapon for the mech itself. It also comes with a couple of stud shooters right here. You have 2, and you also do get plenty of extra studs, so let me just shoot them off. As you guys can see, they're just regular stud shooters. Let me shoot off the second one as well. Just your standard stud shooters for a mech. And the other side does come with a Spinjitzu spinner crown, which you can kind of use as a shield, and this of course does spin. And then I guess for some imaginative play, you can use this as another kind of cannon on the underside, maybe some kind of flamethrower. But you do also get a lot of stickers in the mech itself, which I thought was kind of annoying. This one I kind of ruined towards the bottom, but that's not really too much of a big deal. But these shoulder pieces are rotatable as well, and you of course have a sticker on top here. So this mech does come with quite a few stickers, which I'm not really that big of a fan of. And then just the back side of the build, it looks okay, but of course it looks way better when you have the actual weapon stacked up on top of it. And then there's actually, of course, the entranceway into the mech, which you pretty much just lift this piece down, and there you can just put in the Samurai X minifigure, and it just stands right there. It doesn't have any type of console or anything that it can of course use. So I'm assuming that it uses this blue piece right here. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's some kind of holographic device, but there's really nothing in there, as you guys can see, console wise, for it to be controlled. And then you just lift that right back up, and you can put your minifigure in there, and it's the Samurai X Mech. Now for Clow's bike. As you guys know, my initial thoughts on the set were that this bike was the best part of the entire set, and that opinion still is remaining true after building it. I absolutely adore this bike, and this is by far the best bike that you're going to be able to get in Sons of Garmadon. As you guys can see, there are stickers towards the front right here where the engine is located, and it's just supposed to depict an Oni mask. At first I thought it might have been a shark, but that really doesn't make any sense at all. But I really like this sticker. The coloring choices are great, and it really brings this thing to life. And I actually do like how LEGO included the stickers here, because there are some parts of this that really do need some kind of designs that bricks would not be able to provide. And I really just love the sticker overall. I don't mind it. I know that you guys know that I hate stickers, but this is a really good sticker, and so I didn't mind putting that on. Nevertheless, to say, it is pretty hard to put on, but it's worth it. Also to note, these are stickers as well down here. And then this big razor piece up in the front also does have a little bit of stickers right there, and it goes on both sides. So that is, of course, something to note. Now, when it comes to movability and moving this thing, as you guys will probably be able to tell, that wheel piece in the front does not move on rough surfaces. And so if you guys want to put it on a rough surface, like the indentation right in between the tiles in this table, the wheel will move. But it only works on rough surfaces. So kind of treat it like you would the Ultrasonic Raider with those treads, because those treads do not move on smooth surfaces. Now, towards the back, there is a huge tire, and I really do like this tire. It's rubber, it's going to move on any kind of surface you put it on, and there are a couple of play features, but I just want to point out a couple of design choices for the actual bike itself. So I don't know if you guys can see right here, but this is actually a skateboard, and this is not an intended play feature, but you guys can, of course, just take off the skateboard and kind of put any kind of minifigure you want on this skateboard and just kind of have it roll around, and makes for a little more playability, I guess, in my opinion. And I really didn't have any skateboard pieces before, so this is my first time ever getting in LEGO. So I'm really excited to see what I can do. And once you have more Sons of Garmadon sets and more Sons of Garmadon just minifigures, like evil minifigures, you can use those skateboards, I guess, for their own individual kind of bikes. There are, of course, exhausts right here, and they're just designed. They really have no kind of playability to them. But these things right here, they actually come with the brand new blade pieces that also have some holes for bar-sized pieces. You could put anything that's bar-sized here. And you pretty much just can rotate them around back and forth, and they're kind of designed to keep anything that's to the side of the bike out of the side of the bike. And so let's say you have the mech right here. What we could do is just smash this thing, and it's of course going to damage the mech substantially, and that way it's not going to be as close to the bike as it should be. And that is something to, of course, know. And there is also the same exact thing on the other side, so you can just have both of them come in at the same time, and that is, of course, something that is quite cool in the set. Now, when it does come to Clow, the big fig itself, there is, of course, plenty of room to actually put this minifigure and, of course, mount him onto the bike. And as you guys can see, he is indeed holding onto the handlebars, which I thought was really, really cool. It just looks like a huge Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and I really do like how this thing turned out. Now, there is this engine piece right here, and this also has a pretty substantial play feature that I did not expect, and I'm actually really grateful for this. So the actual sticker piece right here, you can lift it up, and this, of course, has a lot of rotation. You can move it up like this if you want, and in there, you can also move this down. You have Klaus Club, and this is the club that he uses, and it's his main weapon. And so it's just a little bit of storage space, and they, of course, did not have to include that, but I'm really grateful that they did, because it's just such a great addition, and I really didn't want to have Clow holding this thing on while he's using his motorcycle. And so it's a pretty easy solution. You just put it right in here, and you can just close this thing right back up, and it's not really a hassle at all. So that is a great play feature, and I'm really, really thankful that they, of course, included that in this set. Now, let's just remove Clow a bit so I can see what it looks like without him on the bike. And as you guys can see, there is plenty of room for Clow on there. And the build that you saw on the back of Clow isn't actually part of the bike itself. It's actually a second mini build that you attach to Clow's back. And so yeah, you just have this right here. But there is plenty of space. You can move him around however much you want. And there isn't really any kind of console piece as well. It's just the handlebars to, of course, accelerate or decelerate the motorcycle itself. But it's a really cool motorcycle build. Just from the bottom, as you guys can see, nothing really too special there. But these are all the play features on the actual bike. So let's get on to the minifigures and big figures of the set. So the first minifigure I'm going to be showing you guys is actually not a minifigure at all. This is the biggest figure in the set. This is a Clow, and I'm pretty sure he's actually pronounced Killow, but I'm not really too sure, and we're just gonna have to see as the show turns around in 2018. But as you guys can see, he does come with this orange Oni mask, and it is a really nice looking printed piece. And as you guys know, you can just lift it up, and there is the actual head to Clow himself, and it's this angry looking, of course, a biker. And he does have your standard regular big fig hands. You have just bar-sized pieces that can, of course, be attached right there. And then you can also grab onto minifigure legs. So let's just put Samurai X there, for example. And as you guys can see, you can actually grab onto the minifigure and just throw him around wherever you want, or just carry him around. And so that's obviously really cool. And this is actually one of the most detailed big figs that I've seen in a while from LEGO. And just to like show you guys the printing on this big fig, it's fantastic. On the arm right here, it's actually an Oni design right there. Some Oni masks, which look fabulous. But there aren't any on the other hand, which I guess is okay because they really did not need to include that, but it's really greatly appreciated that they did. Also towards the back right here, as you guys can see, on the knees, you have these skeleton kneecaps. So that's really cool. And you, of course, have the Sons of Garmadon biker jacket, and then underneath it just says LO, but I'm assuming that when he takes off the jacket on his stomach, it's just tattooed Clow. And so there's also some kind of, I'm guessing, snake tattoo right there on the gray piece. But yeah, that pretty much has to do it for Clow, the big fig itself. But when you detach this little buildable thing, I'm just going to kind of review it separately from the actual big fig. It's just a mountable little, I don't even know what this is. It might be a jetpack because there's an exhaust port right here to just fly around. But it does come with the Sons of Garmadon banner. And this is not a printed piece. This is unfortunately a sticker. Yeah, it also comes with 2 stud shooters. So they're pretty standard nowadays. Just shoot it off and, you know, it does its thing. That one was a complete fail, but yeah, you know, extra weapons for Clow himself. And just look at the big fig separately, so you guys can see right here. Just your standard big fig, and when you take off the Oni mask, he kind of has that little biker helmet. And there is no double-sided printing on the head, so this is all you get for the big fig. But he does not disappoint, and he is one of the star figures in this set. And now we have Samurai X, or at least the new Samurai X. This is not indeed Nia. This is a brand new character, and she will be revealed, of course, as soon as I take off that mask. But I do have an issue with this minifigure, and it comes with the head printing, which I'm going to get to when I, of course, unveil who this character actually is. But moving on, as you guys can see, front torso printing is fantastic as always. LEGO always nails torso printings for their minifigures, especially when it comes to Ninjago, and I'm actually quite surprised because they also added in this little neat detail that they really didn't have to, but it's just there. I don't know if you guys can see on the bottom of the legs, you have these white lines, and I didn't even notice them at first. I just noticed them a couple of minutes ago, but it really is great that they just add so much detail to these minifigures. And of course, on the back, as you guys can see, let's continue with that back torso printing. And that is, of course, really awesome. And of course, it's just your standard samurai mask for this minifigure, but when you take it off, you guys will be able to see that this is actually pixel, and it's not from this side that you can actually see that it's pixel, but from the other side. But here is where my issue actually starts to take form. I don't know if you guys can see, but let me just zoom in a little bit. This is actually really poorly printed onto the actual headpiece itself, and I'm kind of disappointed because this also was the same exact problem that we got with the Lady Iron Dragon minifigure back for the Ninjago movie Wave 2 sets, and I don't know why, but for some reason when they print on these black heads and try to put in some kind of minifigure printing, it does not work out. But here's the front side, and of course the back for Pixel, and as you guys can see, Pixel over there is better printed than the front side. But I really don't know why that they just printed the front side really poorly, and I don't really like that, and so for that reason I'm not really too happy about how this minifigure turned out. But otherwise it's a great minifigure and it is exclusive to this set, so it's definitely worth picking the set up for. And then finally we have Jay, the Ninja of Lightning. As you guys can see, he has awesome front torso printing as well as his leg printing, and it kind of follows through with that Zane minifigure that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. Kind of has these polka dots that you can kind of barely notice on the ninja suits, and I actually really do like this design for the Sons of Garmadon ninja suits, and they kind of just remind me of like Christmas sweaters or like winter sweaters. And it's just great, and I love these designs a lot. But it does come with this weapon right here. With this chain as well, just kind of spin it around. Also has that little sharp piece towards the bottom of it, but that's just his weapon. And then, as you guys can see, it is indeed a movie inspired from the Ninjago movie. Of course, has that two-piece mask, and has the front torso printing right there, bottom leg printing, and the back torso printing is actually covered from his swords, and of course his sword holders. So when you take off the mask, as you guys can see, it comes in two parts, but when you kind of move this mask piece around, you guys can actually see what his facial expression is. Let me just zoom in a little bit, and as you guys can see, he's not really too happy, but he does also come with an alternate expression on his face, and that is going to be right here. Let me just turn this mask right back around. He's actually way more happy in this position than he is in the other one. And he kind of has a really big grin on his face, a really big smile. And let me just take off the entire headpiece itself and the sword holder so you guys can get a look at the back torso printing. And as you guys can see, that is also really well done. Actually, you guys can't see that. So let me just zoom out a little bit, and now you guys can see that the back torso printing is always as great as it should be. So now let's get on to the actual box and then my final verdict. Alright, so here's the front of your box. Of course, just has your standard play kind of features being shown off with the stud shooters, and of course all the contents of the set. And then when you turn it around and flip it, you actually can of course see all the play features being shown off specifically that I've shown you in depth in this review, and of course the 3 Oni masks to collect and hashtag #BeNinja. So what are my thoughts on this set? I actually think it came out way better than I expected it to be, and it is turning out to be one of my favorite Sons of Garmadon sets. I really do like Clow's bike, and that's the major build that you're getting in this set, so I'm really excited and really happy that they of course included such a big bike for Clow. And he is a great big fig to get, and all the minifigures I believe in the set are exclusive, so that is just a huge plus. And overall, it's a really good set, worth to be picked up. So overall, I'd rate this set a 9 out of 10. I think it is really well designed. The Samurai X Mech, of course, is way better than I thought it would be. And the only downside I have to this is just the poor printing on Pixel for the Samurai X. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys didn't, please leave a like and subscribe for more LEGO Ninjago videos coming to you guys each and every day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.